How you feel about Dwayne Wade and his son? It's a two-part question. How you feel about Dwayne Wade allowing his son to transition into a female, and how you feel about them coming out with a trans program for the youth?
I don't want to go in too heavy on Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union because I'm sure they get enough of it. But at the same time, I do want to let them both know that I'm completely disappointed in them as parent and step parent. I remember seeing Dwayne Wade on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I believe it was. It was him, his son Zaire, who's now a pretty good basketball player, and his son Zion, who is now the artificial woman, Zaya. And they all had the hoodie on, standing up in defense of Trayvon Martin and against police genocide of black people. I don't know what happened between the time Dwayne Wade and his two sons put them hoodies on for Trayvon, all the way up until 4 years ago when Zion decided he wanted to live as an artificial female. I don't think Dwayne Wade understands the population control agenda of the United States government. I mean, do black people really understand that when your child undergoes sexual reassignment surgery, they remove their reproductive organ? They take it off. Do you really want your son to be castrated in childhood based on a decision that was engineered by American media, something that he may later regret and want to revert back to his God-given identity as a natural, organic black man? Are you sure you want him to do that? And I'm not sure if Zion has had sex reassignment surgery. And if Dwayne Wade is watching me, I would ask my brother Dwayne Wade. Please do not let Zion go through with the sexual reassignment surgery. I don't know if he did yet or not. I do know they moved from Florida to California, and in California, children can receive sexual reassignment surgery. Now, according to Dwayne and Gabrielle, they moved to California because it is a more tolerant society for transgender youth than Florida. That's what they told the public. I'm hoping they didn't move over there so that boy can get the sexual reassignment surgery. Because once he gets his reproductive organ removed, he can never put it back. So I'm pleading with Dwayne Wade. I'm pleading personally as Dr. Umar with Dwayne Wade. Don't let Zion receive sexual reassignment surgery, Dwayne. And the reason I'm asking you not to let him get that surgery is when he's only 17. He's only 17. He was 13 or 14 when he came out as wanting to live his life as an artificial female. He's only 17. What happens when he's 27 and he finds God, or his ancestors find him, or he comes into black consciousness, meets Dr. Umar and changes his mind and says, I want to be a black man. I now understand how special it is to be the father of civilization. What you going to do then, Dwayne? If you let that boy get his reproductive organs removed on a California surgeon's table. So I'm hoping Dwayne Wade, and I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say Dwayne Wade has enough integrity and forethought that even with Gabrielle Union breathing down his neck, I believe Dwayne Wade will not allow his son to engage in sexual reassignment surgery until he's old enough to make that decision for himself. I'm going to give Dwayne Wade credit right here, right now, and say Dwayne Wade is not going to allow the media, Gabrielle Union, or anyone else to force his hand, including his son Zion. He's not going to let Zion force his hand into getting sexual reassignment surgery in California. I'm going to say Dwayne Wade is going to do the right thing and recognize this might just be a stage in my son's identity development. He may revert back to his natural God-given self and identity as a black man. So I will not let my son get his reproductive organ removed from his body until he's old enough to make that decision for himself. I'm going to give Dwayne Wade that credit because that would be a disaster. That would be a catastrophe. Because one thing that the media isn't talking about is the fact that transgender black youth and transgender white youth have some of the highest suicide rates in America. I don't know if you know this. They have some of the highest suicide rates in America. Now, the media narrative is they're being bullied and they're not being accepted, and so they're killing themselves. I disagree with that. I know transgendered youth. I work with them. This is what I do. I'm a certified school psychologist. You know what I see happening? They take on this new lifestyle. They realize it was the worst decision they could have ever made. They're now trying to adjust to the new life and they can't. And they're now angry and disappointed in their parents and family for letting them do it. And when they find out that they can't revert back biologically or surgically, they take their life after realizing that there's no coming back if they've already taken the hormones or had the sexual reassignment surgery. They're killing themselves, Art, because they should have never been allowed to undergo that type of physical transformation as a child in the first place. The media is telling you they're being bullied into suicide. That is not true. Yes, there is some bullying of transgender children, but they are the most protected children in society. You go to jail for bullying a homosexual. You go to jail for bullying a transgender. You could do whatever you want to do to black kids. You can call them N-word, shoot them, kill them. Nobody's going to do anything. But LGBTQ children, they're the most protected children in America. They are not being bullied in plain sight. They're taking their life after realizing that I should have never done this to myself and nobody should have let me do this to myself. And now that I don't know how to change it back, I'm just going to take my life early. That's why they're killing themselves. So I don't pick on transgender youth. I don't believe on picking on people, period. I don't pick on LGBTQs. I don't agree with the lifestyle, but I would never encourage harm or hurt to anyone of that community. As far as the black LGBTQs, I believe that they suffer from mental illness that needs to be addressed, therapy, family issues, abandonment issues, trauma issues, abuse issues, so forth and so on, and they simply need help. They simply need some good black mental health treatment, especially our same-sex dating sisters. So I'm not against my people. I love all black people and I respect all human beings, but we are under a population control agenda. Let me ask you a question. If people don't believe transgenderism in children is not a population control strategy, why is Planned Parenthood leading the charge to help our children transgenderize themselves? We good? Planned Parenthood was founded October the 16th of 1916. October the 16th of 1916, I believe was the date. It came out of the Birth Control League, founded by Margaret Sanger, a member of the American Eugenics Society, who was a racist and a eugenicist who wanted to eliminate black people. She started Planned Parenthood, which grew out of her Birth Control League. The Birth Control League was 1916. It changed its name to Planned Parenthood in 1942. It's the same organization that Margaret Sanger started in Brooklyn to get rid of unwanted black babies. Why are they giving out hormone therapy pills? Why are they giving out hormone replacement pills? Why is Planned Parenthood giving out puberty blockers, Art? I thought you was about abortions and hysterectomies, but you're giving out testosterone pills, estrogen pills, puberty blockers, hormone pills. Planned Parenthood is leading the charge. What does abortion have to do with transgenderism? You know what abortion has to do with transgenderism? They both lead to black genocide. That's why Planned Parenthood is one of the biggest pushers of transgenderism in the black community. It's genocide, it's extermination, and it's population control.
What you think about the people that feel like, Gabrielle Union, she's the one behind this, she's the one that, read the pants in the relationship, she's the one that got, Dwayne Wade's son doing all this stuff?
How do I feel about Dwayne Wade letting Gabrielle run the show? For starters, are we sure he's doing that? And the reason I'm asking, since I'm not in the household, how much of this is her and how much of this is him? I don't know. Initially, obviously, the rumor is, the unverified rumor was that Gabrielle basically came into those children's lives, manipulated her way in, and kind of forced this way of thinking onto the innocent young boy, Zion. It's unverified. But the more this goes on and the longer this lasts, I kind of believe both of them are supportive of this type of psychological manipulation. That new organization, the new trans organization that Zion and his father founded, it seems like they did that without Gabrielle. Now, that doesn't mean she's not operating in the trenches somewhere, or it could just be a situation where Dwayne Wade has finally had this forced upon him. And although he may have been reluctant in the beginning, it may be easier on him just to go along with it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's something missing from the whole story that we are never going to get until Zion is old enough and comfortable enough to tell the world the whole story. Something ain't right about this. Everything from, him being 13, wanting to be a girl, that's not natural for a Black kid, to Gabrielle embracing it as earnestly as she did. Most Black women don't thirst for a transgender son. And she's not even a biological parent. To Dwayne appearing, at least publicly, to be very docile and accepting of how aggressively Gabrielle was pushing his son into this way of life. So we can only go off the spectacle of what is seen. I think the truth is about 10 or 20 years from now before it's really going to be shown to us what really happened here. This will be a documentary for the ages when the whole story comes out. But I think we might be 10 or 20 years too soon to see that.